Hello everyone, we're back once again with the Renegade Master and we're going to be doing a review today about the 2021 film Army of the Dead, not to be mistaken for Army of the Darkness. Directed by Zack Synder, written by Zack Synder, Joby Harold and Shay Hatton. It was straight to Netflix, right? I didn't go in any cinemas.
It was straight to Netflix. I think it did get a limited release in America the week before it was on Netflix.
Cool. So yeah, we're going to talk about that today because it's fresh and we want to talk about it. So do you want to start off with what you disliked about it, Ron?
Well, this movie for me I thought was going to be the film of the year. I thought the trailer sold it to me massively. Now, to be fair, a lot of trailers do this. Again, that's the point of trailers. They're there to market it, and they marketed this film very, very, very well because, like, they took the best scenes, sort of shots out of the movie and put it into one trailer. And the film, I'm not going to say I hate it because I don't hate it, but I certainly don't like it. And it's got a lot of problems. And Army of the Dead is like, the whole Netflix thing about it is the problem for me because Zack Snyder, we know obviously over the last few years that the only thing that people have been talking about is the Snyder Cut from Justice League. And that was a big movement, and it was a great movement. It was great to see film fans come together. You know, personally, I believe that Warner Brothers were always going to do it. They were always going to release it. Okay. But I think they just let the fans, and it's quite controversial, I think they just let the fans, they knew the fans were going to, market it for them, basically, which is what they did.
You heard it here, Warner Brothers. Rob's coming after you.
Well, I won't yeah. Please send me some free merch. But like I said, there's always been a thing about Snyder. He's very Marmite for people, and Netflix gave him the keys to the castle, and they let him run with it. And that, for me, was a problem. Okay. Because in doing it, I found Army of the Dead to be a bit too self-indulgent.
Yes.
And that's why I got a problem with it. Not just because of the plot holes. There's a lot of homages to this movie, to other films.
Very poorly done ones, I'd say.
Well, one or two are okay. One especially I really did like, and I'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
But let's talk, Chad. Let's tell me what you did not like, because you disliked this film immensely.
My problem with it was I love zombies. Zombies are amazing. One of my favourite films of all time is 1978, Dawn of the Dead, the George Romero film. And obviously Zack Snyder directed the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
Of course.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. It's okay for a remake. It's one of the better remakes, if anything.
It's kind of like the unmakeable sequel, remake, because because like I say, as we all know, Dawn of the Dead is more than just a horror film.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Exactly, absolutely. And but that was Zack Snyder's introduction to the world.
Yes,
that was his first film.
Oh, bloody hell, my rig. My problem is with the beginning of the film, that is Army of the Dead. I don't know why I said it so awkwardly. It was a carbon copy of Dawn of the Dead. The slow motion, the Richard Cheese song. And don't get me wrong, I think Richard Cheese is a great performer. I love his music. Very funny covers. But don't roll the turd in glitter and try and sell me it again. Do you know what I mean?
That is the tagline.
Yeah, it's one of them.
If you ever see a Blu-ray release.
It's one of them. Like, I was watching it and I felt like I was watching the start of Dawn of the Dead. And like I said, I'm not a massive fan of the remake. I think it's an okay film. But I was watching it and I said to Tom, hi Tom, I messaged him, I was like, because he watched it a couple of weeks before me, like a week, sorry, and I messaged him saying it's very much like Dawn of the Dead, and he's like, oh yeah, but that's why it's good. I was like, well, no, because he's trying to sell you what he's already sold you.
Did Tom like this film?
Tom liked this film until I spoke to him and I told him everything I disliked and he sat back and thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm not a fan of this movie, I do actually want to go back and watch it again because not because I want to try and convince myself to like it. I think it's going to have the same problems. And there's problems, one of the biggest problems for me. So obviously, Army of the Dead is about a group of mercenaries. Yeah. Who have previously dealt with the zombies in Las Vegas, and they've come out and survived, and they've just gone to do normal lives. Even though they did some great things in rescuing people, they've sort of been cast aside. Yeah. And then they are pulled in by was it Tanaka?
Yes.
Who is the owner of a casino in Las Vegas, and there is 250 million.
Yes.
In a vault.
They get 50 million.
That's it. Yeah, which is a great cut for them, really. And basically, they know that it can be life changing for them in this new world, and because the zombie outbreak is not worldwide. It's just in Vegas.
They've contained it in Vegas.
Being contained.
So putting shipping containers around it.
That's right.
Again, also very unbelievable.
Right.
Do you want my biggest gripe?
Because obviously you're a connoisseur of zombie movies. You tell me why then. As in, why is the containers bad?
Well, it's not the fact it's containers, but personally, I think for an outbreak in a place like Las Vegas where there's that many people, it'd get out.
Right.
Personally, I know it's in the middle of the desert, but the chances of them containing it in that one area...
I suppose, like, without being too spoilerish, but the end scene sort of, like, kind of...
Yes.
...aims towards that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's sort of maybe the next chapter. I mean, I won't say what it is, but it's a bit of an open ending.
Yes, very much so. My main problem with this film, Rob, Bautista.
Really?
Dave Bautista, to me, will always be a henchman. He'll never be a leading man. I just think he's a bad actor. I think he paid...
Really?
And I'll fight him. I'll wrestle him if he wants to.
Could be a good match.
The Real Ripper, they'll call me.
Coming soon.
So, I just think, to me, he's always that brave... Like, he's good as somebody that's going to die in the movie, I think.
Okay, well, see, because, I mean... Sorry, go on.
No, for me, have you ever seen Man with the Iron Fists?
No.
No, in that he plays a guy called Bronze Body, and he doesn't speak that much. He just beats people up, and I think that's a perfect Dave Bautista role. To me, you should have put someone like I think The Rock would have done amazing in that role.
Yeah, I get
The
that.
Rock would have done amazing in that role. I didn't think his relationship with his daughter was believable.
No, that was very poorly executed.
Yeah, I really didn't like Dave Bautista. But I don't like Dave Bautista in anything unless he plays.
Well. See, I do like Bautista. I think he has got the chops on him to be a good actor because he's in the sequel to Blade Runner.
Okay.
He's not in it for long. No. Honestly, he's very good. He's not in it for long, but when he's in it, he sets the tone for the movie. Yeah. He's very, very dark character. Doesn't say much, but you might like that. And he's in a movie as well. You probably won't have seen it, but he did a film called Final Score.
No, not
which is a bit like. Do you remember Van Damme's Sudden Death?
I do, yeah.
Well, this is basically this updated version, but football related. Football. It's based in the UK as well.
American football.
No, UK football. Okay. He was very good in that. So I'm a bit of a believer in Bautista.
Okay.
But for this, and I really did think he was going to be the man for this movie. I thought, fair dues, maybe this is the break he needs.
His annoying glasses. Sorry, his glasses really annoyed me.
He wears glasses in Blade Runner 2020.
Yeah, but there's those annoying ones that you keep clipping on and taking off. Just leave the glasses on, dude.
To be fair, I like him without the glasses. I don't know why in films. Then again, he maybe has a
menacing.
Or has he got an eye problem?
Maybe.
He has to wear them.
Pliskin has an eye problem. He doesn't have to wear glasses.
Well, that is true. But no, I completely get. For me, it was too big for him. The movie was too big.
Yes, The Rock. Am I wrong? The Rock would have smashed that.
The Rock in his early days, not.
No.
He has earned the right to do that role.
See, the thing is, you say early days like Batista, but Batista's has been in massive films. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
but again, he plays an ass kicker. Great role for him. Yeah, great role for him.
He definitely has to be doing those roles to be sort of make it believable.
Yeah,
like I say, he's done movies like I've not seen this film, but My Spy. I know he does a lot of action scenes in that. Again, perfect for his sort
because it's a comedy
and his size as well. Yeah, obviously he's a big man. I was saying to a friend, I would have actually done a bit of a role reversal in the movie. I would have got Maury Hardwick, who plays Power.
100% agree.
I him as the main character.
Man. He's
Scott.
An amazing actor.
Exactly.
A great actor.
And I think what he does in the movie, Bautista could have done, perfectly fine.
Yep.
And I think he would
because he was an ass kicker with the blade.
That's right.
That was his role. The bit where he goes up against the main zombie, where he gets on fist fight.
I love that.
That would have been Dave Bautista's perfect bet.
Exactly, and it would have again made it more a believable fight.
Yeah.
Because for a fact that Bautista's obviously a lot bigger than a Maury Hardwick. Maury Hardwick is a big guy.
Oh, he's stacked.
If you watch Power, you'll see how big he is. But against Bautista, he's small.
Yes, yeah.
But I still believe he would have brought out a more emotional side of the character.
Yeah, 100%.
Because even though
his emotional roles in Power make you feel as well.
Exactly, yeah. To be fair, in Power, he's a hard man, and then towards the end, he becomes nothing like that. Really, he's just totally different. Changes the character, but that's good acting.
Yeah,
and I think he would have led the movie better. And that's not being horrible to Bautista at all. He, like I say, I do believe he's got a career ahead of him, despite what you might think. But I still think he's got the chops to be, a great, maybe not, let's say, a great actor. He doesn't need to be a great actor. Because at the end of the day, he's there to be the action hero, like The Rock. I think eventually you're going to see a Rock and Bautista movie, probably. They might be. Could they be our Stallone Schwarzenegger?
No. No, because one of them's a bad actor.
Well, yeah. But no, but I honestly believe that. Like I said, I think Bautista definitely has got something in him to become a good actor. But like I say, it remains to be seen because he sadly did not make it for this film. And I wish Amari Hardwick did take on the role instead.
I said this in my business the other day. I was like, if Amari Hardwick was the main character, this film would have. I think this film would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen him have an emotional connection with his children in Power. And I think if the emotional connection with Scott's character, Bautista's daughter in the movie, it's not there, and it's sort of like a pointless relationship by the end. And I won't try to be as spoiler free as we can. But by the end, for me, that relationship and her even being there seemed pointless, other than doing something that she does one thing in the movie at the end, which does change the movie quite. I mean, story around.
It's one of those things as well. She's there to carry the story on because she does something. She breaks away from the pack.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because they're ready to go at that point, aren't they? And she breaks away, and it's like, oh no, because I'm a father, you're a father, but if your kid ran away from you, you'd just be like, what a dick, why have you done that kind of thing?
I mean, it's...
Because I know they've got a strained relationship, but there's like, they're going to be running to a pack of like hungry people.
Well, this is the weird thing about the movie, is that for me, so of course it's a film, but to me, it should have been a TV series.
I agree.
Because I think now the movie's 2.5 hours long. I get straight away that's too long.
You could shave it down by an hour.
Yes, but no, actually no, because I actually believe the film. So the first hour of the movie is actually just the movie. It's like a characterization, getting to know the characters. To me, it wasn't long enough.
I mean, you take out all the slow-mo scenes, it would be about 40 minutes.
That's Snyder's sort of like, that's like his stamp. He loves a slow-mo. I mean, I think someone did a minute. I think someone did. Someone counted the minutes on Justice League, the 4-hour cut, of how much of it was in slow-mo. And I think it was a long time. It was going over half an hour, I think.
Really? Wow. How long's that film? 4 hours?
4 hours long.
Wow.
It's a great movie, to be fair. I'm a big fan of it. I can see why the whole kicked up a fuss about it in the first place. Because I'm a believer in Snyder. I do think he's a great director. He makes films that I like.
Okay.
Watchmen, 300.
Did he do Watchmen?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
He did, yeah. I mean,
you just give me a little bit more respect for him.
Okay, well, that movie is a visionary film.
Yeah, I really like Watchmen.
Comic book, obviously.
I'm a big fan of the comic.
It's a beast, isn't it? And I'm a big fan of Man of Steel. I'm a big fan of Batman vs Superman, the extended edition.
I've not watched a superhero film since the original Avengers came out.
That was probably So that's probably before Man of Steel, then, perhaps. I don't know. But Man of Steel, you've not seen it.
Nope.
Oh, you should watch it. It's quite gritty. A bit of a gritty Superman. But I think this film, Snyder is given the keys to do whatever the hell he wants. And I think that was not a good... I do like it when studios, not too much, but do sort of intervene a little bit. Because I think they sort of stop a director from going totally bonkers with their story. Yeah. I think they sort of trim it a little bit here and there and sort of, take out the fat a little bit. And I think that was good for Snyder when he was in a good working relationship with Warner Brothers. Obviously, he wasn't towards the end, and they no longer are connected. Maybe one day, who knows? But I think, obviously, Netflix invited him in and said, "You do what you want."
Yeah.
He even is the director of photography in this film.
I didn't know that.
The original, Ken Jeong, I think his name is. The original cinematographer for his movies was not for this movie, and he took over the reins. And I think it shows that there's certain scenes in the movie that look like a proper Snyder movie, and then some of the other scenes just don't feel like it at all. And I think it's because he is directing the photography. It's not a usual job for him. He should be concentrating on the story and direction, and he's doing a bit too much for me. Again,
he's over-egging the pudding.
Well, exactly. It's self-indulgence, and that's where, for example, story-wise, why Tanaka? It's his safe. Why do you need a code breaker?
Oh,
just give him the code.
Yeah. Oh, which brings me on to our next point, Dieter.
Yes, you didn't like him.
Dieter for me was Zack Snyder trying to make Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, okay.
And if I want to watch Shaun of the Dead, I'll watch Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I really hated his character. Yeah. His one-liners, all the puns. I don't think anything he said was remotely funny.
No, I mean, the only bits I really liked him in was I liked his partnership with Van, which is Amari Hardwick's character. I think those two bounce off each other quite well. I think they.
I just thought he was annoying.
Yeah, I get that totally. Yeah, I mean, he's there for the comedy slapstick value things, and he seems to be. To me, I completely understand what you're saying. He's very. It's a sort of direction that Michael Bay would go with.
Yes.
And that's not what I like.
No.
And though I do enjoy Michael Bay films to an occasion, he'll throw in, like silly dialogue and that'll just take you away from the scene itself. And that's what Dieter does do in this movie. He is sort of like because there's a lot of homages to other movies in this film, one of them being Aliens. Now, so the character Martin, he's basically Tanaka's right-hand man.
Yes.
It is Martin, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he, his plan is to obviously follow them and join them, making sure that everything is done properly and everything.
But he's got a hidden agenda.
He's got a hidden agenda, but his hidden agenda sort of seemed pointless because I don't understand why. Again, try not to be spoiler-free, but his hidden agenda is to actually catch one of the zombies.
Yes.
Well, a certain body part of
yes.
the zombies. I'm not going to say which body part.
The left toe.
But so when he does do that, I sat there and thought, well, he carries on with the rest of the gang when really he should have been making an escape. Because he's a bit like the Burke character in do you remember Aliens Burke?
Yes, yeah.
He's the man who comes up, who goes with them. And he's the one who's basically saying that what they're doing, they're going into LV, was it Alien fans don't hate me. He's the one who's behind the idea of what they have to
He's
go.
the puppet master with the strings, pulling the strings.
Correct. And he basically is a very similar character to Martin. He's got a hidden agenda. About the zombies being used for as an army, as weapons.
Yeah.
And I just did, his character was doing things in that film. At first it was great, and then he started doing things. I just didn't get it.
His best scene was with the tiger. I'll say no more.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the zombie tiger is cool.
Zombie tiger's cool, but bad CGI.
It's not great, I must admit. No, I mean, it wasn't. It's something that you would see again in Roland Emmerich kind of film. And Roland Emmerich now is not the director he used to be. He did Independence Day and things like that. And again, very Michael Bay sort of thing. But Zombie Tiger, I think, should have popped a lot harder than it did.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as great. I mean, for me, because there's so many questions not answered. Now, we might be getting more Army of the Dead in the future. Fine. But there's too many. Chad's not happy about it. And to be fair, to a degree, I'm not, because they need to really sort out the problems that are in. To be honest with you, and this is quite silly, really. But the moment Army of the Dead finished, I thought, I want to see the Snyder cut.
Okay.
But then I said Netflix did make a joke saying this is the Snyder cut. Right. So this is not going to get any better. This is just going to stay as it is. And to be fair, for me, it's a missed opportunity. It's a wasted opportunity.
When you were saying before about the homages, with me, the way I feel about this film is that Zack Snyder, again, gave him the keys to the kingdom, like you said, and they were like, here's all this money, make what you want. And he was like a kid in a sweet shop, and he took all these things from films, again, Aliens, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Night of the Living, everything, and he just put it all in the pot, and whatever came out. And I think instead of paying a homage, he just trampled all over everything.
Yeah,
that's how I felt.
He sort of, like say, he was enjoying himself too much.
Yes.
And again, I believe in studio interference. I think it can be healthy to a certain degree. Yeah. I think it can sort of make a director sort of reflect a bit more, because directors, to certain degrees, have massive egos, and I do believe that Zack Snyder has got a massive ego, but in a positive way as well as a slightly negative way, because he does make great films, and to make great films like he does, and to make them on the scale that he does, you've got to have an ego, because you've got to get it made that way. Because they're big, you've got to get everyone in their place. You've got to get you've got directors, editors, soundtracks. You've got to get everyone doing what you want to do. And he does that very well in his film, and it comes across, but not in Army of the Dead. And I think it's because he took on too much for one movie.
Definitely agree.
And I don't want to see this going forward from him, because Zack is better than Army of the Dead. He's a better director. I don't know who else could have come along and made this film, really, and made it better. I don't know. James Cameron, perhaps. I've always said it on many occasions. James Cameron and Zack Snyder. Snyder is our generation of Cameron.
Okay.
In big budget movies, and sort of, going all out there, bringing out a bit of originality, which he has done in his films, but sadly not on this occasion. And that's why I struggle with Army of the Dead, because Army of the Dead, like the opening montage in Vegas when the zombie outbreak begins, I bloody hated it. I could not stand it. The credit sequence, it became a bit of a parody.
Yeah, I agree. I really dislike this film. I really like
the opening shot in the movie in the desert. I like that scene. I think it's really well put together. It's well created. I love when sort of the zombie sorry to spoil it, but the zombie that looks over Vegas and then there's a couple of soldiers behind him. I like that. It was, again, very Snyder. And then it cuts into this sort of comedy thing. I mean, this is when certain characters lose loved ones. And to go back to what you said, Amari Hardwick and the chainsaw, you hardly see him in the film with it. And it's one of the greatest weapons that...
It's one of the ones that the fire department used to cut people out of doors.
It looks like it would do some great damage and some great scenes in the movie, but you barely see it, only apart from the beginning.
Great. And
I just didn't like I said, I got infuriated by it. And this is, like I say, this is a 2.5 hour movie. And within 10 minutes, I was furious.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there thinking, the parody side of things has taken away the horror part. I want to be scared of these zombies. I want to be terrified of them. But really, I'm sort of just laughing at them.
Yeah. They're fun zombies.
They're fun zombies, and that's not what I want to see.
No.
If you want to see
fun zombies, you've got Zombieland.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
And that's why this movie, like I say, there's plot holes all over the place. Please watch it. You'll see them yourself.
So that leads us to our out of 10s. And again, for this one, Rob, I've come up with one because it's Zack Snyder. How many slow motion action shots out of 10 will you give Army of the Dead 2021?
I'd give it 4.
Okay. 1. Solid 1.
That's the lowest score you've ever done. Well, we've ever had.
I had so much hope for this film. Because I know Zack Snyder's a horror fan. He's done Dawn of the Dead. I thought he'd learned from his mistakes. I thought he learned his mistakes from Dawn of the Dead. He's going to come back and he's going to give me the zombie film of the year, the blockbuster. And in my eyes, I thought, straight away, Dave Bautista, I thought he's going to cut his chops with this. Like, I didn't like him as an actor. I was like him as a henchman. I thought he'll cut his chops with it. Zack Snyder's got the helm. He's got, what's his name, Amari Hardwick. I thought, great. They didn't barely use him because there's that scene where he gets locked in the safe.
He is, like I say, I found he was wasted. He was good in the scenes he's in, but he could have been so much more.
I tell you what, sorry, I'll give it a 2 just for the zombie tiger.
Okay.
It gets a 2 for the zombie tiger. It gets 1 for the film, but it gets 2 for a zombie tiger.
So basically, if you put zombie tigers in films, Chad's going to give you 1 more point.
Yep.
But no, like I say, I agree with most of the things you said. I think Papa Bautista, like I say, I think Bautista has got he's got what's that word? He's got potential.
Okay. I
think it can happen, and he's working with some great directors. I mean, he's in the new, he's in June coming out soon. I don't think Snyder did him a good service. I think he did him a disservice.
Okay.
Disservice. He basically didn't direct Bautista very well.
Okay.
I think a lot of the dialogue is very quick. It's like they're trying to get rid of the characterization pretty quick and get into Vegas. For me, it could have been an hour and a half of characterization. I'd have been happy with that.
Yeah, and that is our quite harsh review, really. This is probably our most harsh review.
Do you know why? Because we're passionate about a film that we thought we were going to enjoy.
Yes, like I said before, I genuinely thought this, and you said at the beginning, I thought this was going to be.
It was sold to me on the trailer, on the 3 or 4 trailers.
I thought this for me was going to be the next Dawn of the Dead.
Yes,
that's why I seen it, and it wasn't, and it had great people behind it.
Yep, but I think whatever Snyder makes next, which I think will be something Army of the Dead related.
That's not.
I would rather him sort of not be given like all the be given
like a toddler with brains.
Yeah,
that's what you want.
I don't want to see any more films like this made by him. I want him to be under sort of like the guidance of.
Because he did 300, right?
He did 300,
and that film's spot on.
It's spot on.
It's a good film.
That's probably his most I would say that the 300 was the film that was his most flawless.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing really wrong with it. I wouldn't change anything about that movie. Watchmen, it's got different cuts, so it depends how you watch it.
Well, I didn't know that. I've only seen one.
I think it's got 3 cuts. I think it's got a theatrical cut, a director's cut, and an ultimate cut.
Ooh. And
the ultimate cut's like it's way over 3 hours long.
Wow, okay.
But again, I do love Zack Snyder. I'm looking forward to seeing him again in directing more movies. I just hope it's not Army of the Dead related, but I think it will be. Yeah, so that brings us to the end. So you've got a 2 only because of the tiger, and a 4. So that's both of ours lowest scores. Yeah. So yeah, hope you enjoy this, guys. Let us know your thoughts of the film. We hope you haven't offended anyone that likes the film. But yeah, argue with us in the comments. That'll be fun. Cheers, guys. Be kind. Hang on. Cheers. Did you fart then? Yes. There's only a little sneaky squeaker.